students, welcome to online class of Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. I, Ms. Nehal Mane, teaching you science for grade 6. In the previous class, we have completed our first lesson, that is food. Where does it come from? So, in that we have studied the functions of food, where does it come from, like what do we require to prepare the food, those are ingredients, then what are the sources of food. The two main sources of food are plants and animals, and we have also seen the different plant parts that we consume as food. In the same way, we have also seen different animals we consume as food, and at last we have summarized all the things. Now in today's class we are going to start with our second lesson. The name of the lesson is components of food. So what is the name of the lesson? Components of food. So in this lesson we are going to learn about nutrients. What is the importance and use of each nutrients. Then we are also going to see about balanced diet, deficiency diseases. In deficiency diseases, we are going to see diseases and disabilities due to food, and then we are going to summarize all the points. Variety of food is eaten every day in different parts of the world. Like a meal could consist of chapati, dal and a brinjal curry. Another may be rice, sambar and a vegetable. Yet another meal could be appam, fish curry and vegetable. So different types of meals are there in different parts of the world. Our meals usually have at least one item made of some kind of grain. Other items could be dal or a dish of meat and vegetables. It may also include items like curd, buttermilk and pickles. Some example of meals from different regions are given here. Sometimes we may not really have all this variety in our meals. If we are traveling, we may eat whatever is available on the way. It may not be possible for some of us to eat such a variety of items most of the time, but in some cases if we go on tours, we can eat a different variety of food available in that region. Both the things can happen. So these all meals are made up of varieties of items. These all items are made up of different ingredients. Every meal is made of one or more ingredients, and each ingredient is made up of one or more nutrients. So for preparing one dish we require different ingredients, and these different ingredients we get from plants or animals as sources, and this each ingredient is made up of one or more nutrients. So nutrients are essential components of food required by our body for proper growth and development. Nutrients are essential components, very important components of food required by our body. Our body requires different nutrients for proper growth and development. As we have seen, there are many different functions of food, and all these functions can be carried out with the help of nutrients. So nutrients are the essential components of food. So we have seen the functions of nutrients were it provides energy, it sustains growth and development, it protects against infections and maintenance of all the body parts. It gives a lot of energy to us. Different types of nutrients provide us energy. It helps in growth and development. Our body needs growth and development that is provided by the food we eat from the nutrients. All the nutrients also protects us from infections and help us in fighting against diseases. It maintains all our body parts. It also maintains our all the body parts. Now, important components of food. Our food consists of 7 components. These are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, water, roughage and vitamins. Water is not a nutrient, but it is an essential part of food. It is an essential part of food. Food rich in nutrients is called nutritious food. Food rich in nutrients is called as nutritious food. All the 7 components of food, these are the 7 components of food. These components are very much essential for our body as they work together and gives us different kinds of nutrients. Now, we are going to see about each nutrient in detail. So, first we are going to see about carbohydrates. We are going to see about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates provides us energy. It provides us energy. So, they are also called as energy giving food. They are also called as energy giving food. Starch and sugar are the carbohydrates present in our food. Food rich in starch includes bread, rice, potatoes and noodles. So, these are some sources of carbohydrates. Those are corn, mangoes, melon, papaya, sugarcane, potato, sweet potato, wheat, rice and bajra. These are the examples of some fruits or vegetables that are rich in carbohydrates. These are the sources of carbohydrates. Sugar comes from sugarcane. Sugarcane is sucrose. Some other sugars are glucose and fructose present in fruits and honey. Milk includes a kind of sugar called lactose. So, these were the sources of carbohydrates. Now, there is one activity that we are going to do here. So, that is the test for carbohydrates. Now, see students, you have seen here just now these many were the sources of carbohydrates. These food items are rich in carbohydrates, right? These were the food items that are rich in carbohydrates. So, how do you come to know these food items are rich in carbohydrates? So, to determine this thing, we have to do a test. We have to do a test whether to see the following food item is rich in carbohydrates or no. So, to do this we should require few solutions like iodine solution. Okay. Now, to prepare iodine solution, we have to just take iodine and add few drops of water in it. Iodine solution is prepared. Iodine solution is prepared. So, then take a small quantity of food item. We have to take a very small quantity of food item which is raw ingredient in a test tube. Put 2 to 3 drops of dilute iodine solution. Now, what the solution we have prepared here, that iodine solution we have to pour 2 to 3 drops in the test tube on the food material which we have taken here. First of all, we have to take a test tube, take food material in this, and then iodine solution of 2 to 3 drops is poured in the test tube. Observe if there is any color change. We have to observe within 4 to 5 seconds there is a color change. Did it turn blue back? Yes, it turns its color to blue black. It appears to be in blue black color. That after doing the test, it appears to be blue black color. A blue black color indicates that it contains starch, that is contains starch. When this changes into blue black color, we can say that the food item, the given food item is rich in carbohydrates, This test can be repeated for the other food items. We can repeat this test with other food items to find out which of these contain starch, it means carbohydrates. So, if it changes into blue black color, we can tell that the following food item or the given food item is rich in carbohydrates. And if does not change its color, so the food item is not rich in carbohydrates. Now, we are going to see about fats. As you can see, fat is also a energy giving food. Fats and oils are also energy giving foods. They are rich source of energy. They provides us a lot of energy. They give us twice as much as energy as carbohydrates. Whatever we get the energy from carbohydrates, fats provides the double of it. So, they give us twice as much as energy as carbohydrates. Fats come from animal sources. It also comes from plant sources. Oils come from plant sources, milk, butter, cream, cheese and meat food are rich in fats that we get from animal sources. Edible oils come from seeds like mustard, soya bean, sesame, peanut, coconut, sunflower and other nuts. Dry fruits such as almond and cashew are rich in oil. Fats stay in solid form, are saturated fats, and oil in liquid form at room temperature are unsaturated fats. Fats melt into oil on warming. So, fats are also called as energy giving food. Let us see one video.
Food that we eat every day contributes to our well-being. Food provides us nutrients and calories we need for healthy body. If we take in more calories than we use, the extra calories are stored as fat in our bodies. If we overeat regularly, we continue to gain weight and we may become obese. WHO has defined obesity as the abnormal or excessive fat accumulation that pose a risk to health of an individual. But the question arises, why in the last decade obesity, especially in children, has become a global problem? This may be due to several reasons, of which first is eating habit. Children are eating much more than they used to. Most of the increased food consumption consists of carbohydrates such as sweetened drinks, potato chips, etc. Sedentary lifestyle with modern convenience devices such as televisions, computers, video games, etc. has lessened the physical activity performed in day-to-day life and is the second major cause of obesity. Thus, lack of physical activities and unbalanced diets are the key factors in the increase of obesity. Unbalanced diet either provides an imbalanced proportion of all required nutrients or more calories than our body needs. The excess of calorie intake is converted to fat. Initially, fat cells increase in size, and when they can no longer expand, they increase in number. Excess body fat accumulated in obese persons have an adverse effect on health, leading to reduced life expectancy and increased health problems. Some of the health problems related with obesity include coronary heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol level, etc. Obesity is thus a medical condition whose core treatment lies in the fact of eating balanced diet and doing lots of physical exercise. Exercise is one of the keys to controlling obesity. Beginning an exercise can be difficult and even painful in certain cases. The wrong type of exercise can cause injury, and thus it is important to start slowly and exercise under the supervision of the health practitioner. A healthy diet has low quantity of energy-dense foods such as those high in fat and sugars, and increased level of dietary fiber, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Anti-obesity drugs are also available in the market that reduce appetite or inhibit fat absorption. However, many of these claims are not true, and some of these supplements can have serious side effects. Intake of healthy and balanced diet combined with lots of physical exercise can make us feel better, and we can continue to enjoy the tastes of different foods.
Okay, now we have seen a video which tells us that about obesity. So we have to consume food in a right amount. Now we have seen carbohydrates mainly provide energy to our body. Fats also gives us energy. In fact, fat give much more energy as compared to the same amount of carbohydrates. Foods containing fats and carbohydrates are also called energy giving food. Those are called as energy giving food. So now we are going to do the test for fat. Test for fat. See here, take a small quantity of food item. We have to take a small quantity of food item. Wrap it on a piece of paper. We have to take a piece of paper and crush the food item and keep the food item on the paper. Take care that the paper does not tear. Now straighten the paper and observe it carefully. Does it have any oily patch? Does it have any oily patch? Yes. If you cannot see, hold the paper against light. Hold the paper against light. Are you able to see the light faintly through this patch? Yes. So an oily patch on paper shows that the food item contains fat. The food item contains fat. Oily patch on paper shows the above food material or the given food material which we tested is rich in fat. The food item may sometimes contains a little water. It contains sometimes a little water. Therefore, after you have rubbed an item on paper, let the paper dry for a while. So when you crush the food item on a paper, if it contains water, let it be for 1 or 2 minutes. Let the water which is present in the food may dry completely. May dry completely. If there were any water that may have come from food, it will dry up after some time. If no oily patch shows up after this, the food item does not contain fat. If there is no oily patch on the paper, then the given food item is not rich in fat. But after taking the food, crushing it on the paper and rubbing it, and then if we find the oily patch, we can say that the given food material is rich in fat. We have to remember, students, that fats are essential, but excess of fat in our food is harmful. If we eat excess of fat in our food is harmful. Raw fat is easily digestible. Fried form ghee is hard to digest. Fried form ghee is hard to digest. Eating too much of carbohydrates along with fat is also harmful. We should not eat carbohydrates as well as fat in a too much amount. If we eat, it is harmful. Since carbohydrates meets the energy requirement of the body and fat is left unutilized, which is then stored, resulting in obesity. If we already ate the food which is rich in carbohydrates and then we ate the more amount of fats, then what happens to fats? It is unutilized, means we don't use the fats and it is stored in our body. So, this results in the obesity. Obesity is nothing but increase in weight, and that leads to many diseases. So, we have to eat energy giving foods, that is carbohydrates and fat in right amounts. Nutrient storage. See here, storage of excessive fats and carbohydrates in the body. Camel stores fats in its hump. Camel stores fats in its hump. Now we are going to see about proteins. Proteins are called as body building food. Proteins are called as body building food. Proteins are an important part of our food. Proteins help in growth and repair of damaged cells in our body. It helps in growth, development and damaged cells in our body. Food rich in proteins are rich in the food materials like peas, soya beans, eggs, meat, fish, pulses and grams. Seeds from beans which are used as pulses are a good source of vegetable proteins. Proteins are an essential part of food which help in activating life functions in our body. So, these are the main component of our nutrients and we require this in activating life functions in our body. Normally, our energy requirements are met by carbohydrates and fats. At times, when our body does not get enough carbohydrates and fats, proteins are used to provide energy and nourishment. Proteins are used to provide energy and nourishment. Now, we are going to perform a test of protein, test for protein. Now, we have seen the test for carbohydrates and fats. In the same way, there is also a test for protein. So, to do the test of protein, we require food item, copper sulfate solution and caustic soda solution. So, this solution we need to be prepared. We have to prepare this solution and then perform the test. So, to prepare copper sulfate solution, we require 2 gram of copper sulfate solution plus 100 ml of distilled water. So, to prepare copper sulfate solution, we require 2 gram of copper sulfate solution, copper sulfate and 100 ml of distilled water. So, in 100 ml of distilled water, we have to take 2 gram of copper sulfate and mix it. So, it will get diluted in the water. And then to prepare caustic soda solution, we require 10 gram of caustic soda and 100 ml of distilled water. We have to take by measuring cylinder 100 ml of distilled water and add 10 gram of caustic soda to it. We have to add 10 gram of caustic soda to it. So, now for the test of protein, we have prepared the copper sulfate solution and caustic soda solution. Take a small quantity of food item for testing. if the food you want to test is a solid, if it is a solid substance, you first need to make a paste of it or powder. Whatever the food item you are going to take for the test for proteins, you have to take the food item which is grinded or make it paste. Grind or mash a small quantity of food item. Put some of this in a clean test tube. Now whatever mashed or grind food item is there, you have to take it in a test tube. Add 10 drops of water to it. To the food item we have to add 10 drops of water and shake in the test tube. Now by using a dropper, we have to add 2 drops of copper sulfate solution. We have to add 2 to 3 drops of copper sulfate solution and 10 drops of caustic soda solution. What we are doing here, we have taken the food item which is grinded or mashed in a small quantity in a test tube, and we have added 10 drops of water to it and 2 drops of copper sulfate solution is added which was already prepared, and then 10 drops of caustic soda solution is added. Now when you add these 2 solutions to it, we have to shake well. We have to shake well and let the test tube stand for a few minutes. We can see a violet color appearing in the test tube to the food item. We can see a violet color appearing in the test tube to the food. So a violet color indicates presence of proteins in the food item. What does it show? A changing of color indicates that the food is rich in proteins. The food is rich in proteins. So in this way the test can be done for many different items like raw potato, milk, groundnut, cooked rice, dry coconut, cooked dal, a slice of any vegetable, a slice of any fruit which are rich in protein. If it doesn't show the change in color for the food material, we can say that the given food item is not rich in proteins, But if it changes the color to violet color, we can say that the food item is rich in proteins. Caustic soda is colorless liquid. It is a colorless liquid which is used to test the presence of proteins in food. Caustic soda along with copper sulfate solution gives violet color. Thereby confirming presence of proteins. If the food item is rich in proteins, then a change color appears to be violet. Now vitamins, we will see that vitamins are of following types: vitamin A, vitamin B complex, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E and vitamin K. So in this lesson we have studied about the 7 different components of food which are very essential to our body, and we have did the test for carbohydrates, proteins and fats. So in the next class we will see more in detail about vitamins and minerals. Till that time, read the textbooks. Thank you, students.